Dexter Resurrection Episode 10 wastes no time throwing us straight into chaos. The air is thick with tension, Angel Batista's blood hasn't even dried. And already Dexter's entire world is hanging by a thread. Leon Prader isn't just another target for the table, he's a monster with more money, more power, and more reach than any killer Dexter has faced before. This time, the stakes aren't just about survival. It's about secrets, legacy, and whether the Bay Harbor Butcher can outsmart a billionaire madman who knows exactly who he is. The finale kicks off in a storm of silence, the kind where every sound feels like a warning. Dexter is still trapped inside Prader's vault, Batista's body sprawled beside him, while the billionaire upstairs celebrates like nothing happened. That's the insanity of it. Prader doesn't see Angel as a cop, a father, or even a man. To him, Batista is nothing more than a trophy kill, the first of many he thinks will make him legendary. And the scariest part, he's giddy about it. He's laughing, drunk on the thrill, while New York's elite sip champagne just a few floors below. Charlie, the ruthless enforcer who's more than just muscle, stands guard like a shadow outside the vault. She's not blind to what her boss has done, killing a cop in his penthouse is reckless even by billionaire standards, but her loyalty keeps her anchored. Prader, with his twisted arrogance, decides not to finish Dexter off quickly. Instead, he plans to leave him locked inside for 3 long days, no food, no water. Just the slow crawl of dehydration in his mind. It's poetic justice, a slow death for the Bay Harbor Butcher. But Prader's arrogance has always been his blind spot, and Dexter knows it, even locked in a vault. Dexter's mind never stops working, the body beside him, the walls closing in, and the phantom voice of Harry buzzing in his ear all fuel his determination. Harry, as always, injects a sick sense of humor into the darkness, mocking the situation with sarcastic comments about Prader's empire and Charlie's temper. Dexter forces out a laugh, but underneath that mask is raw fear. This isn't just another job, this is the fight for his life and for Harrison's too. Meanwhile, Harrison is out living a moment that couldn't be further from his father's prison, wrapped up in Irma and Jiggy's antics. His focus is nowhere near danger until Dexter finds a way to reach him, using Batista's phone. Barely hanging on to a signal, Dexter makes the call. His voice is urgent, clipped, carrying the weight of desperation. He needs help. Harrison, caught off guard, barely processes the words before Dexter's reality slams into him. Suddenly, the teenage drama feels meaningless. His father is trapped, and it's up to him to find a way in. Harrison's position is unique, almost ironically convenient. He's already embedded in the gala through the catering job, weaving in and out of rooms while serving cocktails to the state's most powerful. AirPod in his ear, phone tucked discreetly in his jacket, he streams everything back to Dexter. This isn't just father and son talking, it's a lifeline. Every step Harrison takes, every whisper he breathes, Dexter hears it all from inside the vault. Together, they're playing a dangerous game of chess, one wrong move away from checkmate. But Harrison's path isn't smooth. The penthouse is crawling with eyes, and the pressure of moving unseen is suffocating. Claudette, dressed to kill and commanding attention, is another unpredictable piece in the puzzle. She doesn't know the full story, but her presence means Harrison can't afford mistakes. Every tray he carries, every locked door he slips past, the risk grows heavier. And then comes the real twist. Charlie. She's still in the penthouse when Harrison arrives, and Dexter never accounted for that. Harrison, trying to pick a lock too loudly, draws her attention like a moth to a flame. She catches him, weapon drawn, and in that moment the entire plan threatens to collapse. Harrison freezes under her stare, the cold steel of her gun reminding him how fragile his role really is. Dexter, helpless in the vault, listens as the confrontation unfolds. But Dexter's brilliance has always been in seeing angles others miss. While Harrison is cornered, Dexter digs deeper into the vault's secrets among the folders and files. He uncovers proof, damning evidence that flips the power balance on its head. Charlie isn't just Prader's loyal soldier, she has skeletons too. The paperwork exposes her connection to Mia's suicide plot, a dark stain she thought was buried. Prader, ever meticulous, has kept every receipt, every dirty secret locked away, and Dexter now holds the key. With Harry whispering in his ear, Dexter seizes the opportunity. He threatens to airdrop the evidence to the cops downstairs, dangling Charlie's darkest truths right over her head. For the first time, she wavers. The icy enforcer cracks, her mask slipping under the weight of exposure. She offers Harrison a deal, freedom in exchange for silence, but her mercy only stretches so far. Dexter, she declares, will rot in the vault, and if he somehow survives, she promises to hunt Harrison down, torment him, and end him. The threat hangs heavy, but Dexter and Harrison share an unspoken understanding. They're not backing down. Charlie's words might drip with menace, but the Morgan blood runs hotter the moment she steps away. Leaving Dexter caged and Harrison barely free, the game resets. Now it's not just survival. It's about codes, secrets, and timing. The vault holds answers, and if they can crack it, the balance shifts. The finale has just begun, and the tension is already unbearable. Charlie's departure doesn't bring relief, it brings a heavier silence, the kind that presses against Dexter's chest like the walls themselves are closing in. Harrison, still shaken from staring down the barrel of her gun, steadies his breathing and waits for his father's voice to cut through the static of his AirPod. Dexter doesn't waste words, he tells Harrison they don't have time. Every second the vault stays shut is another second closer to death, but it isn't just about survival. Hidden inside the vault is leverage, evidence that could unravel everything Prader has built. If they crack the code, they don't just escape, they dismantle the Empire. Dexter's mind races. The Folgers he found weren't random, each one is labeled with precision, stacked like trophies in a hunter's cabinet. Blackmail, corruption, payoffs, cover-ups, it's all here. But one detail gnaws at him, a prisoner number scribbled in a place it shouldn't be. His instincts scream that this number is more than it seems, it's a code. A clue Prader left behind. Maybe even the key to opening the vault, but instinct alone isn't enough. He only gets one shot at entering it, and a mistake could seal them in forever. Harrison crouches outside the heavy steel door. Batista's phone screen dimming with every second that passes. The battery icon is bleeding red, and Dexter feels the urgency pulsing through it. He pushes Harrison to focus, to listen to every instruction, to trust him completely. Father and son are bound tighter than ever, tethered by survival. The plan forms in real time, jagged and desperate, but there's no other choice. And this is where the tension spikes. The code isn't a clean riddle, it's wrapped in Dexter's paranoia. His fear of being wrong. Harry appears in his mind, again, taunting him with the possibility of failure, mocking the idea that Dexter could crack Prader's game so easily. The ghost of Harry's smirk echoes through the vault, daring him to press the wrong numbers. Dexter clenches his fists, swallowing the hallucination, forcing his brain to cut through the noise. This isn't about Harry, this isn't even about Prader, this is about Harrison. And Dexter cannot fail his son, not now. With Harrison's trembling fingers hovering over the keypad, the moment freezes, time stretches thin. Dexter breathes, calculates, then makes the call. He gives Harrison the number. The boy enters it, digit by digit, heart pounding so hard it feels like the sound could echo through the hall. The keypad blinks. For a second, nothing happens, then the lock releases. With a metallic thud that feels like thunder, the vault yawns open. Inside, the world changes. The Folgers multiply into mountains of secrets, a library of sins that could topple politicians and businessmen alike. And tucked into the chaos, Dexter's eyes land on something else, proof of Prader's obsession, detailed records of every kill he's fantasized about, every target he's stalked, every sadistic plan he's yet to execute. Among the names is one that freezes Dexter's blood. Harrison. Prader wasn't improvising when he threatened Dexter's son, he's been planning it, watching him, waiting. The billionaire didn't just stumble into knowing the Bay Harbor butcher's identity. He's been orchestrating this for years. Dexter's fury sharpens to a blade. It isn't just about survival anymore, this is personal. Prader dared to script Harrison into his nightmare. Dared to think he could toy with Dexter Morgan's bloodline. That's a line no one crosses and survives. The Bay Harbor butcher doesn't just kill monsters, he eradicates threats to his family. And in this moment, Leon Prader is more dangerous than any killer Dexter has ever hunted. But as the rage boils, reality strikes. They aren't safe yet. The vault may be open, but escaping unnoticed with Folgers in hand is another matter entirely. Downstairs, the gala rages on, and Claudette's sharp eyes are still prowling. Charlie's threat lingers in the air, her promise to destroy Harrison not a bluff but a vow. And Prader is somewhere in the building, likely already suspicious of the silence from his favorite toy box. Dexter acts quickly, sorting through the files for what he needs most: evidence, proof, enough to bury Prader in the eyes of the law while Dexter prepares to finish the job his way. Harrison wants to bolt, to run while the door is open, but Dexter stops him. He explains the fingerprint problem, Red Schmidt's print left behind in the vault. An oversight Dexter can't afford. If the police find it, questions will pile up and Dexter's carefully balanced mask will collapse. For all his rage, for all his boiling need to kill Prader, Dexter still thinks like a survivor. Clean exits matter, loose ends can't exist. It's in this pause that the cracks widen. Harrison doesn't understand why his father hesitates. The urge to flee is stronger than the urge to cover tracks. To Harrison, survival means escape. But to Dexter, survival means control. The distance between them shows again that unspoken tension between father and son. Harrison has inherited pieces of Dexter's darkness, but he hasn't inherited the patience, and patience is what keeps them alive. Then comes the sound. A faint echo of footsteps, heavy and deliberate, cutting through the walls of the penthouse. Prader is coming back. The pause is over. The game is about to restart, and this time, the stakes are higher than ever. The sound of footsteps sends a shiver straight down Dexter's spine. It's unmistakable. Prader is near, and with every echo, the tension thickens. Harrison looks at his father, panic written across his face. But Dexter raises a hand to steady him. Silence is their only weapon now. The vault may be open, but that doesn't mean they're free. In fact, the danger has just sharpened its teeth. Prader enters with the casual swagger of a man who believes he owns every room he walks into. His suit is immaculate. His smirk as sharp as the knife he casually spins between his fingers. To him, this is theater. Dexter isn't a prisoner, he's an audience, and the show has only just begun. The billionaire talks, taunting Dexter with words soaked in arrogance. He brags about Batista's death, relishes the chaos he's about to unleash, and mocks the idea that anyone could stop him. Every syllable drips with the smugness of someone untouchable, someone who believes money and power will always shield him. But Dexter knows arrogance is fatal. He studies Prader carefully, watching the way his eyes linger, the way his attention drifts, the way his ego inflates with every boast. That's the weakness, that's the crack in the armor. While Prader thinks he's in control, Dexter is already calculating a dozen ways to flip the script. Harry's voice whispers in his ear again, reminding him of the code, never get caught. But this isn't just about rules anymore. This is about Harrison, this is about family. And family changes everything. Harrison's position grows more dangerous by the second. He tries to blend into the shadows, but Prader's instincts are razor sharp. He senses movement, a shift in the air, and his gaze snaps toward the boy. The smirk widens. He calls Harrison out, mocking the next generation of the Morgan curse. In that instant, Dexter's protective instincts roar louder than Harry's warnings. Louder than the code, louder than reason itself. The thought of Prader laying a hand on Harrison ignites a fury Dexter hasn't felt in years. The tension crescendos when Prader makes his move. He lunges, not at Dexter, but at Harrison. The billionaire's hand clamps around the boy's shoulder. His knife gleaming under the low lights, he whispers threats into Harrison's ear. Promises of slow pain, of torment designed to break Dexter from the inside out. The cruelty is deliberate. Prader doesn't just want to kill Dexter, he wants to dismantle him, piece by piece. But Dexter isn't a man who breaks. He's a man who plans, who adapts, who turns weakness into strength. With precision honed over years of hunting, Dexter seizes the moment. He distracts Prader with words, taunting him back, drawing his attention just long enough for Harrison to twist free. The boy stumbles, adrenaline surging, but it's enough. The balance shifts. The predator suddenly finds himself prey. Prader, enraged, slashes out wildly, his composure cracking. The calm, arrogant billionaire is gone, replaced by a desperate animal cornered in his own lair. Dexter watches the transformation with cold focus. This is the real Prader, the mask stripped away, the monster revealed. And monsters are exactly what Dexter was born to kill. Still, the fight is far from over. Charlie's threat lingers in the background, her promise to return hanging like a blade above their heads. The vault's secrets remain half explored, each folder another potential weapon or trap. And Claudette's presence downstairs grows more dangerous with every passing minute. If she stumbles onto the truth before Dexter is ready, the entire game collapses. Prader, panting and sweating, regains enough control to grin through his rage. He tells Dexter he's already lost, that no matter what happens in this room, the world will know the truth about the Bay Harbor butcher. His reach is too wide, his network too powerful. Even if Dexter kills him, the fallout will expose everything. For a moment, the words hang heavy, a reminder that even victory could taste like defeat. But Dexter doesn't flinch. He's lived with the threat of exposure his entire life. He's danced on the edge of discovery more times than anyone should survive, and every time, he's found a way to twist fate in his favor. This will be no different with Harrison at his side, with Prader's arrogance cracking. Dexter knows one thing for certain: the Bay Harbor butcher doesn't lose. Not tonight, not ever. The stage is set. The predator and the butcher face each other in the dim glow of the vault, each one ready to strike, each one holding secrets sharp enough to cut. The finale has tightened its grip, and the blood-soaked endgame is only just beginning. The vault feels smaller now, every breath heavy, every second dragging like an eternity. Dexter knows this isn't a battle of fists and knives, it's a battle of control. Prader thrives on dominance, bending everyone around him to his will. But Dexter? He's spent his entire life studying predators like this, dismantling them, piece by piece until nothing remains. The clash between them isn't just physical. It's psychological, a duel of egos sharpened by blood. Prader paces, knife twirling in his hand. Eyes locked on Dexter, he taunts him with Batista's death, savoring every detail. as if replaying the memory is another way to inflict pain. For Dexter, the loss cuts deep. Batista wasn't just a cop, he was a friend. A link to a past Dexter has tried to outrun, but grief isn't weakness in Dexter's world, it's fuel. Every drop of rage he feels coils inside him, waiting for the right moment to strike. Harry's voice returns, echoing in the back of Dexter's mind. The ghostly mentor needles him, reminding him that he's not invincible, warning him not to let emotion cloud his judgment. But for once, Dexter ignores Harry, the code, the rules. The voice that guided him for years, all of it fades beneath the one truth burning in his chest. Harrison, protect the boy, no matter the cost. Harrison, caught between fear and adrenaline, clings to his father's instructions. He doesn't fully understand the mind games, but he knows one thing: if Dexter falls, he's next. Prader sees it too, and he plays the card with cruel precision. He dangles Harrison's life like bait, daring Dexter to lose focus. His threats are vivid, dripping with malice, talk of tearing Harrison apart slowly, of making Dexter watch helplessly. It's sadistic theater designed to break him, but instead of breaking, Dexter's mask shifts. A smile creeps across his face, not one of amusement, but of certainty. Prader mistakes it for madness, but it's clarity. Dexter has found the crack, the exact place where Prader's armor splinters. Beneath the wealth, beneath the bravado, Prader is terrified of one thing: losing control. And Dexter is about to rip it from him. The fight erupts in a blur. Prader lunges, knife flashing, but Dexter sidesteps with predator precision. The two men collide, the sound of their struggle muffled by the thick walls of the vault. Harrison scrambles to the side, desperate to stay clear, but he doesn't stay idle. He scans the room, searching for anything he can use, anything to tip the scale in his father's favor. Prader is strong, fueled by rage and desperation, but Dexter has something he doesn't: discipline. Years of channeling darkness into methodical precision. He doesn't waste movements, doesn't fight with ego. Every strike is calculated, every dodge measured. Slowly, he turns Prader's strength into weakness, forcing him into mistakes. The billionaire grows sloppy, his swings wild, his arrogance unraveling with every miss. Then comes the turning point. In the chaos, Prader grabs Harrison again, yanking him close. Blade pressed to the boy's throat. The sight freezes Dexter's blood. Time slows. The room shrinks to just that one image: his son's life dangling on the edge of a knife. For a flicker of a second, fear claws at Dexter's chest. The kind of fear that can break even the strongest. But then the fear crystallizes into something sharper: rage. Dexter strikes. With surgical precision, he disarms Prader, wrenching the blade free and sending it clattering to the ground. The two men crash into the vault wall, their struggle violent, primal, stripped of all pretense. Harrison, wide-eyed, watches as his father unleashes the fury he's spent years hiding. It's not the calm, methodical Bay Harbor butcher, it's the raw, unfiltered predator, fighting not for ritual or code, but for blood and survival. Prader, gasping, manages to break free long enough to spit venom. He rants about his empire, about how killing him won't matter because the world already belongs to him. His voice drips with defiance, but the cracks are visible now: the sweat, the fear, the desperation. They betray the truth. He's no longer in control, he's prey. Dexter, looming over him, feels the shift. This is the moment. The balance has tipped. Harrison, trembling but safe for now, watches his father with a mix of horror and awe. For the first time, he sees the Bay Harbor butcher unmasked, stripped of the facade of normalcy. It's brutal, terrifying, and undeniable. This is who Dexter is. But the endgame isn't complete. Charlie's shadow still looms. Claudette is circling below, closer than ever to unraveling the truth. And outside this room, the world keeps spinning, ready to swallow Dexter whole if he makes one wrong move. Prader may be broken, but killing him won't end the danger, it will only escalate it. Dexter knows this. He also knows he doesn't have the luxury of hesitation. The finale is moving fast, the pieces crashing into place, and the blood-soaked climax is inevitable. Prader's time is running out, and Dexter is the one holding the clock. The walls of the vault echo with heavy breathing and the metallic scrape of desperation. Dexter towers over Prader, his fists clenched, blood smeared across his shirt. The raw violence of the fight hanging heavy in the air. For a moment, the billionaire's cocky mask slips completely. He's not the untouchable tycoon anymore, he's just a man staring at death. But even cornered, Prader's arrogance flickers. He spits blood, sneers through broken teeth, and tries to twist the narrative, claiming that killing him will doom Dexter once and for all. Dexter doesn't flinch. His eyes burn with a different kind of fire now. This isn't the cold, detached ritual of the Bay Harbor butcher. It's personal, it's primal. It's about protecting Harrison at any cost, and that makes him more dangerous than ever. He tells Prader in a voice so calm it's chilling that no empire, no wealth, no connections can save him tonight. Because tonight, Leon Prader isn't a billionaire, he's just another monster. And monsters end up on Dexter Morgan's table, but before Dexter can make his move, the sound of footsteps rattles down the hall again. Harrison stiffens, panic flashing in his eyes. The name doesn't need to be said. Charlie is back. The threat she promised earlier is no longer distant. It's here, creeping closer with every step. Dexter has seconds to decide: finish Prader now and risk being caught in the act, or stall the kill and gamble with survival. It's the kind of impossible choice only Dexter can navigate. Harry's voice slices into his mind. That twisted ghost whispering warnings about sloppiness, about the dangers of letting emotion cloud the ritual, but Dexter pushes the hallucination aside. The code doesn't matter anymore, only Harrison does. He quickly restrains Prader, improvising with brutal efficiency, and signals Harrison to move. They can't afford mistakes. One wrong step and Charlie will burst in, gun blazing, and everything will unravel. As if on cue, Charlie storms into the room, her eyes lock onto the scene, Prader restrained, Dexter standing over him, Harrison caught in the middle for the first time. The iron weight on her face cracks, rage, betrayal, and fear all war within her. She raises her gun, her hand steady, her voice low and venomous. She tells Dexter it's over, that he's not walking out alive, that Harrison will pay for his father's sins. The tension is suffocating, the air thick enough to choke on. Dexter doesn't back down. He meets her gaze with icy calm and plays his final card, the compromat. He lays out what he found in the vault, the proof that ties her to Mia's so-called suicide. The receipts Prader kept tucked away like trophies, with the threat of exposure hanging over her. Charlie falters, her finger tightens on the trigger, but doubt flickers in her eyes. For the first time, she's caught between loyalty to Prader and self-preservation. And Dexter knows exactly which instinct wins in the end. Harrison seizes the moment. With a burst of reckless courage, he shoves a tray from the vault's desk straight into Charlie's arm. The gunshot cracks like thunder, deafening in the small room. But the bullet slams into the wall instead of flesh. The distraction is enough. Dexter lunges, disarming her with predator speed, his movements fueled by fury and instinct. The gun clatters across the floor, and now Charlie is the one staring down the barrel of fate. For a heartbeat, it looks like Dexter might add her to his kill list then and there, but Harrison's voice cuts through, sharp and urgent. He begs his father not to do it. Not here, not now. The plea yanks at Dexter, tugging him back from the edge. He hesitates, the weight of Harrison's gaze heavier than any weapon. In the end, Dexter makes a choice that surprises even him. He spares Charlie for now, but not without a promise, whispered like a death sentence: if she ever comes near Harrison again, she won't walk away a second time. Charlie stumbles back, shaken, her iron mask shattered. She retreats, vowing revenge, but her confidence is cracked wide open, and with her gone, the vault feels tighter, heavier, like time itself is running out. Prader, though restrained, starts laughing, a hollow, manic sound. He taunts Dexter, calling him soft for sparing Charlie, mocking him for letting weakness bleed into his perfect ritual. His words drip with poison, but they only fuel the inevitable. Dexter turns to Harrison, giving him one final command: leave. The boy resists, fear and loyalty battling in his eyes. But Dexter is firm. Harrison can't witness what comes next. This isn't just a kill, it's a message, a final act that ties every thread together. Harrison hesitates, but in the end, he listens. He slips out, disappearing into the shadows of the penthouse, carrying both fear and trust in his father. And then it's just Dexter and Prader, predator and prey, billionaire and butcher. The finale of this bloody dance is about to unfold, and for the first time all night, Prader looks truly afraid. The door shuts behind Harrison, and with it, the last restraint inside Dexter disappears. The room is quiet now, except for the sound of Prader's ragged breathing and the faint hum of the vault. This is no longer a negotiation, no longer a fight for survival. This is the moment Dexter was born for. The billionaire who thought he could play God now finds himself stripped of his power, tied down, forced to face the butcher's truth. Prader still tries to talk, his voice thick with arrogance even as fear trembles underneath. He insists that killing him won't matter, that his empire is too big, too powerful, too connected. He promises that the Bay Harbor butcher will be exposed the second his body is found. But Dexter doesn't even blink. He's heard it all before. Every monster believes they're untouchable until the blade touches their skin. Every predator thinks they're special until the butcher proves they're not. Dexter works with his usual precision, his hands steady, his face calm. There's no ritual tonight, no blood slides, no carefully staged table. This isn't about trophies or perfection. This is about justice, about vengeance, about protecting Harrison from a man who dared to dream of carving him up like prey. Dexter's eyes burn with something rawer than ritual, something closer to rage. Prader tries to laugh, But the sound breaks into a sob halfway through. He spits one last threat, promising that Harrison will never be free of his shadow, that even in death he'll haunt them both. Dexter leans close, his voice a whisper colder than the steel he holds. No, you'll just be another name I erased. And with that, the blade sinks, swift and merciless. The fight, the taunts, the power, everything ends in silence. Leon Prader, the billionaire who thought he could outsmart death, finally meets it at the hands of the Bay Harbor Butcher. But Dexter doesn't linger in triumph. He cleans with ruthless efficiency, erasing every trace, every slip that could lead back to him. Prader's severed thumb becomes his key, used to unlock the systems that once trapped him, and in a stroke of calculated brilliance, Dexter enters the wrong code on purpose, triggering the alarms. The sirens wail through the penthouse, summoning the police upstairs, guiding their eyes to the evidence he's carefully staged. When Claudette arrives with her squad, she doesn't find the Bay Harbor Butcher, she finds the corpse of Leon Prader, Batista's body, and a treasure chest of evidence that paints Prader as the New York Ripper. Dexter, once again, slips into the shadows unnoticed, leaving behind a crime scene that tells the story he wants the world to believe. Claudette, sharp as ever, pieces the puzzle together just enough to crown Prader guilty. The case is solved, the city exhales, and Dexter Morgan disappears. Harrison waits outside, his heart hammering, his mind torn between fear and awe. When Dexter finally reappears, blood hidden, mask back in place, the boy sees both the monster and the father. He doesn't say a word, he doesn't have to. In that silence, an understanding passes between them. Harrison knows exactly what his father did, and Dexter knows his son carries the weight of it too. The night closes not with celebration, but with a strange, haunting peace. On Prader's yacht, Dexter stands alone, the city lights reflecting on the water, the Folgers of serial killers still in his possession, Harrison still within his reach, and a darkness that no longer feels like a curse but a companion. For the first time in a long time, Dexter doesn't question who he is, he accepts it. The Bay Harbor Butcher lives on, not as a shadow to run from, but as the truth of who he's always been.